Great.
And then you got microphones now.
Okay. All right. We can start the meeting. I'll start with the pledge.
Is the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner DeSalle,
Here.
Commissioner Grant,
Here.
Commissioner Hinchey. Here. Commissioner McDonald,
Here.
Commissioner Schleichman.
Here.
Commissioner Sutton,
Here.
and Chairman Eckert.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Are there any changes to the meetings from minutes from last time?
The minutes will be available the next meeting.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, so let's see, we have one agenda item, purpose to go over request for development of a self-storage unit on 20 just west of Sturk's Corner. Has everybody had a chance to look over what we had earlier? Any questions? Oh,
If you could.
okay. And I don't talk that loud to begin with. Oh, okay, that's gonna have to be it then. Okay. Since we got the minutes, the information a little bit late, especially a larger layout. Request for a special use. There were some questions. Anybody have any questions regarding this proposal?
I can do it.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
we-
do a quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Really quick, I'll do a quick introduction. So the purpose of this meeting really is just to have a initial review by this body of this proposed development. The purpose is just to give some feedback to village staff as well as the developer as they go through this approval process. As I had noted in the memo provided to the commission, there are a number of zoning approvals that will eventually need to be approved by the village board, recommended by this body. But the purpose tonight is really just to provide some initial feedback to the developer and staff, and then also to have the developer give a quick presentation about what they're looking to do. With that, I will hand it over to Bill and Chris from First Midwest Development Group and let them give a little overview of what they're looking to do, and just let them know if you have any questions. You're actually gonna get a mic in just a minute.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity for us to present this project tonight, especially in the cold. Our box stuff, self-storage facility concept. I'm Bill Kaczynski. I'm counsel for First Midwest Group. With me is our development officer, Chris Cannell. First Midwest Group is a full-service commercial developer. We own and operate a large portfolio of commercial real estate, running the gamut from office to retail. We currently have 7 operating boxed up self-storage facilities in and around the area from Rockford to here. We have one other one currently developed. So we're experienced operating facilities. The property that we currently have under contract is located at Route 20 and Turnell Road, right behind the antique store that I think's been here, been on Route 20 for a very long time. This proposal, the property was annexed by the current owner of the property. It was annexed by the village in 2007. And the PUD there was a PUD approved for that detention of 1.5 acres of commercial that wraps around the antique store at fronts Route 20. And then the developer, or the current owner, actually at that time, had begun a process with the village to develop the triangular odd-shaped portion that we're looking to acquire. That sits well below the grade of Route 20 for storage. That particular part of the proposal wasn't approved, but the PUD as it currently exists does allow for self-storage, just not immediately along Route 20. And the property was zoned commercial, part of that 2017. So I think really what we're looking to address, like Andy had referenced, is just a couple of things. One is to permit the storage to run along Route 20, the property that we're acquiring, and to approve our replat of the PUD, which is not in your materials, unfortunately. I did print off some copies, probably not enough, but there's a new plat of subdivision that will report as part of the process that preserves that commercial that wraps around the antique store and then provides for access off of the existing roundabout at Burnout Road. Our site that we're seeking to develop is approximately 96 acres. As part of, oh, something happened there. All right, so it's not karaoke, but I'll continue. The other part of the other part of what we're doing with the development of the parcel in agreement with the seller is to provide with the guidance of staff in the village is to provide for comprehensive water detention, not only for our parcel, but for the seller's remaining parcel. That's that'll be preserved for commercial and for detention for the antique store. So we've got about 1.7 acres preserved for detention. So that'll be part of that, part of the development, and hopefully that'll help spur further future development along Route 20 on those other parcels to the north of us. So the property's already zoned commercial. The property has a bit of an odd shape, and it sits quite a ways below Route 20. And that's part of the rationale for this being a perfect site for this kind of self-storage. We've provided for a plan to neatly arrange the buildings on the site, and provided for a landscaping plan for screening from Route 20. Also, there's a group of apartments that are just directly east of the property. We're going to make sure that those buildings are screened with some additional trees, and that also will there's the detention will be in between those apartments and where our buildings are going to be located. I think there's about 400 feet between those apartment buildings and where our storage buildings will be constructed. The site's not manned. The tenants get a key code to access the property. It's available 24 hours. We always make a point to light them well, and the lighting will comply with all aspects of the village's ordinance and be positioned in a way so it's not a distraction for the apartments and the adjoining property. To the south of us is the railroad tracks. There's already an existing line of existing vegetation there, which pretty much screens everything from that side. So
I think with that, if Chris, you want to run through some of our pictures and you can show what the concept is.
Thank you, Chris Campbell. If you have any questions, feel free to stop me here. I'll just flip these. I'm pretty loud. So anyhow, I'll start with this right here. So originally,
Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt. Will you use that so that people who watch the video can hear? I don't think they'll be able to hear without the mic.
this is my first time with a microphone. Excuse me, please. So going back to the beginning, there was an arrangement with the seller that we bought the property from with the administration that was here, and they said, if you would agree to preserve this, we will be okay with this. So there was a deal made, and that's how we got to where we're at right now. And so Mr. Kellenberger, I don't know if anybody knows Chuck Kellenberger. He's like 85 years old. He decided he was getting too old to do this. He was going to do it on his own. And so we got in touch with him, and that's how we ended up here. So as far as how did we get here? So, we'll start out with, this. Now, this is the before and after. And so right here, let's just take that off. So when we initially did this, we had just had a tree in front of every building. We sent it in to the administration and asked for their input. And they said, we want more screening. So we doubled the amount of trees that we had out front. So there's actually double the amount of trees that are going in, that are shown in this picture. So the way we have it arranged, it's going to be a pine tree, arborvitae, pine tree, arborvitae, pine tree. So it should be pretty well screened after a few years. Yeah, slide that out. Excuse me.
Now we're going this way.
This is a phasing map that we put together. Yeah, we don't necessarily want to build all this all at once. We'll do it in 3 phases. And so right here, the entrance to get in here, it's about 250 feet long, just so you know, and the gate is going to be up here. So the entire property will be gated. The only way to get in there is you got to have a code to get in the gate. So it's 100% secure. We have security cameras all over the place, high definition. And so this place will be well looked after. So initially, we're looking at possibly building 8 buildings up front. It might drop down to 6. It may be 8. We're still talking about it right now with a consultant, how many we should put out here at one time. But does anybody have any questions on this?
You're intending on completing it with enclosed buildings, or you have any kind of option of having open storage, say trailers, boats?
We were told to not even think about it. So we eliminated that 100%. And please feel free to put that in the ordinance. I mean, I just want everybody to feel comfortable. We're not going to say one thing and do another. So we are definitely okay with not doing that. We'd like to do it, but if you don't want it, we think this is a great area to be in. And so we'll do whatever it takes. So anyhow, flip that one more time, Bill. All right. You can get rid of that. That's the first page of the photometric. Pull that out of there. Okay. So here's the photometric of how they're lighted. We like them well lit, so that keeps them very secure. So right over here is the apartment buildings. Those are like 400 feet away. So we made sure that this building here, and when we met with the board, that was the mayor's request. She goes, hey, could you put down lighting? So these are 0 light at the property line. So when people are driving in the cul-de-sac, there's no windows facing this at all. So this is just so when they drive in. So does anybody have any questions about the?
Yeah, the apartments are over here.
Yeah, that's the pond right here.
That's the pond. And it's quite a distance away from where those side of those apartment buildings are. There's no windows.
So the antique store is here, and then here's that acre and a half that's being preserved. So. Yep, next one. All right, so we'll turn that over. So this is the landscape plan. And so this does show, I'll walk this around, it's hard to see it. So this does show the trees added that the mayor had requested for additional screening. And so we put a cloud around it to show that. So we have a lot of vegetation right here for landscaping at the entrance to make it look good. And we have a lot of screening right here. So here's all the screening we have with trees growing along 72 or 20 there. So I believe we got at least 150 different plantings at the entrance, so it will look nice as you drive in there. So these are the pictures of the plants. And we sent these to Andy, if anybody wants to get them emailed.
I think it's part of the package.
Yeah, we can. Okay. All right, so this one in particular, this shows the before and after of the roundabout. So that's what it looks like right now. This is what it looks like after we put our landscaping in there. So it does offer a lot of screening around the roundabout.
And the other thing that we're doing is, to address one of the concerns of the village is this little, curb here in order to make sure that people follow the roundabout and don't turn left immediately out of the access to the storage site.
We were asked to put that in also by one of the village.
Pork chop, is that the?
Yeah, pork
technical
chop,
term?
yep.
Okay.
So that's what we have to look at. Is there any questions we could answer?
What is the building space versus the pavement space percentage?
On this one, I don't have that at the top of my head, but I can certainly get that for you by looking at it. Gosh, I would say probably 45% building, 55% paved area. I haven't done the engineering yet, so I don't have that. So
This is strictly gonna be outdoor facility, there's gonna be nothing indoors and no lobby?
I'm not planning on a lobby right now, but we have a consultant telling us we should put one in, but you know, all our facilities we have right now, we don't have a lobby.
Okay, and what are the hours?
Well, the hours are 24 hours a day, and that's why we keep it lit.
So at 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody can come in and use the storage facility if they need it?
They could, it doesn't happen very often,
I know, okay,
but they could, you're right.
okay.
They could. So if somebody's leaving town or something and they need to go there and grab something, they have the right, and that is why we keep it well lit. Keep it safe.
Okay, I just had one question with regards to the roundabout and that, we have a lot of drive over with the roundabout here on Ranking. I'm assuming that hopefully it's planned that, I'm assuming that there's gonna be a lot of U-Hauls going in and out of there, that there's space accommodating that.
Yes. Yeah, your engineer will actually be involved with the design approval. So Fair Graham, I believe. So they'll definitely have your best interest
And make sure
at
there's
heart.
room on that west side of the roundabout.
Right.
Go in.
What is the exterior material of the buildings? Is it metal?
Yeah, they're generally metal.
What gauge? What gauge metal?
I can find out. I don't know the gauge of the metal.
Okay.
So.
What are some of the sizes that you're gonna be offering there as far as the units?
So the most popular size is like 10 by 15. We'll have 10 by 10s, 10 by 15s, 10 by 20s, 10 by 25s. We'll have some 12 by 30s along the back row where the railroad is for people that have trailers they want to park inside. So we try to offer as big a variety as we can.
And these are all planned on individual units, right? Not something interior,
No, these are all individual units. You
all
have to
garage
drive.
doors.
Yep, you have to drive up to them. Everything's paved. So it'll be a nice finished product when we get done. I'm gonna pull that. That one there? All right. Yeah, everything in the dark shaded area is obviously paving. So I'll tell you what attracted to us to this parcel was it was so far below the road. We knew it was not a good commercial piece of property because those have to be on grade and the funny shape of it. It would have been hard to build any other building here that was, rectangular, geometrically, friendly to this. So this is actually a perfect site for storage.
I will mention also really quickly from the village perspective, the one part of this that is potentially good for commercial is that 1.78 acres behind behind the antique stores. That is not going to be part of this development. That is going to be subdivided into a separate parcel, which hopefully can be later consolidated for retail commercial development.
So something that was explained to me years ago when they came up with this concept, they actually sized this to mirror the other size. So they could have as much retail on this side as they have on the other side of the entrance. So that'd be a nice mixed use property, I guess you could say.
There's the restaurants on the other side.
Mm-hmm. That's where we cut the deal, was in that restaurant.
I would also just ask the commission really quick, is there any, in addition to the questions that have been asked, is there any materials or anything that you would like to see from the developer at the next meetings?
Maybe just some diagrams from looking straight ahead. Are they gonna be raised from the pavement to keep them off?
Yes, what the way we do it is we like the slab to be at least 2 to 2.5 inches above the paving so the water can't get in there. We've done enough of these and we didn't learn by mistakes, but we've seen other people learn by mistakes. You definitely want to drive over a step to get in these. And then you want positive drainage going down to the inlets. There's going to be a lot of storm sewer in here. So everything is going to drain away from the building and there will be a step going into the building. It's actually a little 1.5 inch double step, 1.5 inches. So that was a good point, by the way. That's my job to make sure that happens.
Where is your facility that's the same? Where's the existing facility that we could take a look at?
Belvedere at Irene Road.
Okay.
So Appleton Road, it's actually right next to Chrysler plant.
Okay.
So I mean, we're literally right across the street from Chrysler on Appleton Road.
Okay.
Easiest way to get there is probably coming from here. You'd probably get off on Genoa Road, or you go to Irene Road and come back. So if somebody wants to go out there, I'd be glad to give you a gate code so you could drive in and check it out.
Do you have any competition around here?
Around here, we have Hampshire. Hampshire actually wanted us to come there. They were recruiting us for retail. We own over 3.5 million feet of retail. And my claim to fame is we opened 3 Meijers in the last 5 years, and we opened 2 of them in one day. So they were recruiting us very heavily over there. And when we saw this property and we saw 47, we're like, we want to be close to 47. So that's how we ended up here. We actually stopped in Hampshire first. They called us and said, come and meet with us. So there is an opportunity down the road that we may be able to provide some retail for this area. You know, it takes rooftops, but that's the core business that we run is retail. We do strip centers, we do big boxes, we do a little bit of everything. We did the Myers store in Sycamore. Then we did the Starbucks out front and the other little stores out front.
Okay, I think that's about it. As far as the next steps, village staff will be conducting its own review of the plans. And we'll also be coordinating with the developer on scheduling public hearings, for this commission to have an official public hearing, and to vote on recommendations to the Board of Trustees, which will make the ultimate call on approval or not of the development. And that's all I have. Do you have anything to add?
Anybody else with any questions at this time?
Is there any concerns you want to bring up or?
Well, since you've gotten positive feedback from the village to begin with, we want to go, as you go forward, you know, you bring your plans to us and we go get more.
My toughest challenge has always been the zoning committee.
Well, more deep.
I told Bill, I go, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. We've talked to everybody else, but these are the guys that ask the tough questions.
More detail to look at, I think.
I didn't know I was gonna get asked about the gauge of
Yeah.
metal. I would have had that
What else,
answer
what
for
the
you.
outside of the building would look like and, you know, the aesthetics and all that kind of that. Okay.
It is good that we have finished products nearby that we can take a look at. And see what-
Mhm. And please let me know if somebody wants to drive to Belvedere. I would be glad to give whoever calls me, and you can get my number from Andy and give you a gate code to get in.
We can provide some more perspectives and some other pictures of what it'll look like once built.
And I'll also mention if you get home and you can't help but just think about this all night and you have a question that comes to your mind, just send it to me and I will forward it to them.
Anything else?
Thanks. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you taking the time to meet us tonight. We know it's very cold out there.
Just a bit. Any other business?
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Chris.
All right, thank you all.
I'll give you that before I hurt myself.
How about a motion to adjourn then?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Might start.
Second.
roll call then?
Commissioner Stout?
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right. See you next time.